Welcome to the Lodge Lockdown with your host, Frank Cronogue.
Breathe.
Hello. Thank you, Milly, for reminding me of my name there, because I just forgot it for a sec. Yeah. We are live. Well, kind of. It depends when you watch this. We might be unalive. Who knows? But and with this COVID thing, it's a bit dicey both ways, I think. Anyway, regardless about that crap, we're going to be talking about some more crap as we go along for the next hour or so. And hopefully entertain you at the same time. This is the Lodge Lockdown, my first show, and I am scared shitless. The reason for that is because I've never done a show where I've shown my face on camera. And this is a new thing, and I am absolutely terrified. And I think a change of underwear is needed after the show. So anyway, so to join me on this, because we're going to be talking about loads of things, I will go through it after I introduce my guests, who are absolutely beautiful in their own way. We have Mr. John Pirruccello.
Hello.
And we have...
It's good to see you, Frank, by the way. It's really good to see
you. You too, buddy. Good to see you, man. And we have none other than Mr. Brett Vadset. How you doing, Brett?
Hey, good. Good to see you, Frank. Nice to meet you all.
And the one and only doll extraordinaire, Milly Moo from Australia. How are you, Milly?
I'm well, thank you, Frank.
Lovely. Beautiful people. I couldn't wish for a group of friends here. Okay. Another guest might be turning up, hopefully, if he gets the link in time. Jake might be with us, and we can see how we go. Hopefully he'll join us. Right.
I think he's joining right now.
Oh, cool. Brilliant. He's just it's the man, my fellow man from London is coming on. Yeah.
Hello.
Jake, how are you, man?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, great. Good to see you.
You too, man. Hey, John.
Right.
Hey, Jake.
You know John? You know Milly, I think.
Milly. Hey, Milly, yeah.
Hi.
And the other gentleman here, Jake, is the old school Twin Peaks actor from the original, Brett, who played one of the Bookhouse boys in the original series.
Hey, Brett. How you doing?
Hey, good to meet you, Jake.
You too, mate.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is great. We've got the old school and we got the new order. It's fantastic.
There you
go. What a mix! What a mix! And we got Milly there. You know, she's fantastic. And right, so coming up, as they say, coming up, we have COVID-19. We will be telling you our thoughts. It's current. It's topical. Later on, we'll be doing. Is that a fact? Where I read out a quick random fact for you all, and hopefully. Blow your mind at the same time. We will be having a little feature where we will be taking a more closer look at Milly's amazing dolls. I will also be picking one guest at random and asking them 5 random questions on the spot, so be ready. And we'll also be asking, what is the earliest memory of your life that you recall vividly? So that's the sort of things we're going to be talking about. So let's go straight into it and talk about the thing that's on everyone's minds at the moment, which is COVID-19. Please share your thoughts, guys, and tell us how it's affected you in your own regular life. And also, what would be really fascinating to know is how it's affected you in the entertainment industry. So go for it, guys. Anyone wants to start?
And then there's silence.
Are you there?
Well, I can report that here in Australia it hasn't been that bad. So in the region that I live, we have had like 3 cases. It didn't stop people from buying up all the toilet paper and the pasta and the rice for some reason, but it hasn't been too bad here. But we were talking about this yesterday, Frank, how there is a part of your brain that still thinks everything's okay. So when people are taking a really wide berth from you, it's hard not to think, oh, is it me? Like, do I smell?
People start crossing the road from me and I'm going, is this COVID or is it just natural?
Yeah. Do I look like a maniac?
I'm still not sure. Yeah.
Well, but now you have that going forward, like even when we're sort of out of the woods, when someone moves away from you, you can just say, it's COVID.
Yeah, we can kill ourselves for eternity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after
Yeah,
the second
or-
or third wave of this thing, we just keep going and doing the same stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, or can I come and visit you? No, COVID. Stay away.
If you want to get out of parties or meet the mother-in-law, no, COVID, mate. I've got COVID bad. I can't. I just can't come out tonight. Yeah. Can we reschedule?
Just threaten to sneeze, like a
And you get people like ducking for cover over tables and that, like in a movie. Oh my God, he's going to sneeze.
I have a confession. When this first started happening, I went to a grocery store with my girlfriend, and this guy was literally walking really afraid and towards us. If you go in the store, we were leaving, and I don't know, I was just feeling kind of ornery, and I faked a cough, and he stopped and walked away, and we were all wearing face masks. But I was just like, wow, this is really a thing. I don't usually do stuff like that, but I don't know. I just wanted to see this guy's reaction. We're all, there's just a new kind of sense of how to be, I guess. It's really weird. It's seen the evolution too, where people weren't wearing masks. I was one of the early people. I just like, you know what, I'm going to wear a mask. Why not? And then I started wearing gloves, and I thought that's too much. And then, but it's really, and now it's gone the other side, which we kind of talked about, where people are now not wearing masks at all.
Yeah.
I've mentally become immune to it, and I'm still wearing one. I'm like, there's no way. I mean, I don't want to drown in my own fluid breathing. I like breathing.
That sounds really grim. Yeah. Drowning in my own
When I
fluid.
go out, I wear a mask, but I really don't. I don't think I have to. I only do it because of other people's comfort. I'm not really looking to upset anybody or have people are stressed out enough as it is. So
Right.
I wear the mask, because I'm part of a community. But if I see someone that doesn't have a mask on, I have a sort of knee-jerk reaction, like, what a fucker. It's like my first thought. And then I go, no, they may be right. They may be right. Just
Right.
walk a wide berth, as someone said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I found interesting as well is in January I went to Japan with my mates, and in Japan, even before the pandemic, sort of like it seemed like 1 in 3 people on the street were wearing a mask anyway. That's what they do out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was sort of new when me and my mates were walking around seeing so many mask wearers. That was kind of new to. I mean, we'd seen some like Asian tourists on the underground sometimes wearing the mask, but like being out there in an East Asian country where it's the norm for a lot of people to wear masks, it was very strange for us. And we were kind of like, I think one of my mates said, "Oh, look, I keep seeing my dentist everywhere." And then like months later, it's over here. It's all over here. It's strange, just like that.
Well, and
They were ahead of us, the Japanese.
like all of those people that we used to think were nutty, right? Like all of the germaphobes that won't shake your hand, like Howard
Right.
Mandel or whatever, and all those people, those Japanese tourists on the subway that we're all going stomping at them. What a bunch of nut jobs. Right? All those people were right.
Hello.
Now they're like now you look back at them and they look like futurists.
Right.
Told you so.
You say they're onto something all along.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But they have to wear it out there because Japan and places like that are one of the most polluted countries in the world.
Yeah.
So I think everyone walks around with a mask. I don't think anyone doesn't have one over there. That's just part of living.
I think it's in China is the pollution
China,
bad in
yeah.
China, but in Japan I think
Oh yeah.
Japan is
China
much,
also, I think.
much cleaner. I asked my Japanese friend, why so many people wearing masks, and she just said, "Oh, it's just a basic hygiene." So not even in a non-pandemic. So that was just before. I mean, it was going on in China, but it hadn't sort of reached the rest of the world. And that was early January when I went. And my friend just said, "Oh yeah, it's just for hygiene reasons." just normal. It was normal hygiene
That's
reasons.
normal practice.
And now,
It's normal
obviously,
practice.
the pandemic, we're doing it as well now. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it definitely is gonna, it's informing our collective conscience, this event. And I mean, I'm sort of an optimist anyway. I'm a cynical optimist, I like to say. But
Combination.
I believe the best will occur, but I just hate everybody and everything in the meantime. But
Wow.
yeah, I know, I'm a mess. But I don't know. I believe that all of these things, like what you're talking about, Jake, about like sort of that cultural, I mean, Japan obviously is sort of, as a culture, they've been looking at things their way, for a while, and we're sort of seeing how everybody kind of reacts to things. In Australia, maybe it's different than how people are, there's a different situation there or whatever. So it's kind of like we're all like a bunch of petri dishes or something, sort of figuring this out. And I have to think that coupled with, the internet, which is so horrible in so many ways. But what it is doing is you are seeing what people are doing in other parts of the world and how they're dealing with the same thing. That's the other thing that's spectacular to me, is that everybody's dealing with one thing at one time.
Yeah.
Which is sort of,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's unprecedented or what, but
Well,
it's certainly mind-blowing to me. And I have to believe that is going to there's going to be a positive outcome from that.
For sure.
That's what I agree with you, and that's what I keep talking about with my 14-year-old son and other people. Is I think that hopefully this will, because of the universal experience that we're all experiencing, that we'll be able to have more humanity and more empathy towards one another, not only in our little communities, but also in a global sense. And we'll have a better understanding of each other. And I'm hoping that it shifts to less materialism, more spiritual connection, more one-on-one connection like this, where, because we all get little isolated little bubbles, like, and I'm guilty of it too. It's just part of being in society, and I try to break out of it, but I'm hoping, I agree with you, John. I hope there's going to be a major emotional, mental, spiritual shift that will happen in the world.
I think that's already happening, and there has happened or is happening, and I feel like the difference is that I think before all this, it's very easy to forget or to not pay attention to that aspect, right? To the collective conscience, to the fact that we are all one organism. Like, it's easy to just kind of day to day overlook that. Well, now you can't. I mean, you may be able to work around it, and we will. As we start to get back to normal, we will it'll be less intense and less right in front of us. But we'll never be able to say we weren't aware of it because we were. Once you can't unknow it, is what I'm saying. I mean, now that we know it, you can't unknow it.
Yeah.
So it'll just
So
be.
I'm interested just briefly how you guys are doing. How you guys are doing in the entertainment industry. How have you seen that? What are your thoughts on that, John, or Jake, and Brett? Maybe I know you're not in it so much now, Brett, but but you guys, what's your take on it and how it's affected things in that?
Jake, why don't you take that first, because you're probably working a little bit.
Oh, it's it's wiped out everything. I had some jobs coming up and they just evaporated. And basically, all I've been able to do is some home auditions, so home voiceover auditions, the odd self-tape here and there, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So it's literally really had a huge effect on.
And I'm not directly involved anymore as much, but I have a lot of friends, in production, post-production, pre-production, and everything is just completely frozen. I mean, just like Jake said, it's just wiped out. Everything's, nothing's in pre-production. Maybe they're, they're remotely working, and planning. But yeah, everything is really, really shut down. I mean,
It was kind of like having the rug pulled from under us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of friends that are writers, ADs, second and first ADs, and directors, and yeah, everything. It's just completely wiped out. So everything's on hold. So
Everything's on hold. Yeah.
Well, but I think that's true, and it did, everything did stop, and that was, I thought about it at the time, was like, I mean, you know, Jake, I'm sure you can back me up on this, that is that we're sort of used to periods of time between work, right? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about. It's like
Very much.
that's kind of part of our sort of it's an existential element of what we do, is that you have to kind of build up a way to between jobs to not go nuts or to not lose focus or to not, you know what I'm saying, right? Like keep your
very much so.
up. And so the difference here, I think, is that it's sort of like a longer period went by with like nothing. Like usually you would have like a little thing like, oh, there's an audition now, or oh, hey, they're talking about maybe this or whatever. So little tiny things would kind of get you through the gaps, right? And those things are, you know, I'm the same as you, Jake. It's like for the most part gone. But those little tiny things, like getting an email from a show that I worked on that they have the entire second season completely written and they're ready to shoot as soon as you know, and the fact that I'm getting that email says, oh, I'm in that show again, you know,
Exactly.
like otherwise I wouldn't be getting that email. So little tiny things like that normally might just be, you know, part of the little sprinkling of like getting me to the next thing, those become huge, and my gratitude for them becomes, you know, so much more. And I take for granted something like that so much less than I did before, that I think that's kind of that. It's almost like, I mean, we're going to all be able to tell many, many stories about how the pause has affected us with gratitude and so on and so forth. But this is a specific example of it in my mind, of like, oh yeah, all of those little things are a big deal. And you are so fortunate. You're so fortunate to have gotten that email. And you're so fortunate to have been, you know, that other email or that show that, you know, that I was working on where they had one more episode to do. Oh yeah, well, I'm in that last episode. Okay, so whenever we start again, I got that. Like these little things are huge now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Same here. Things, you know, being pushed back, but I know they're still there. It's just a question of when and not if. And
or like I did a show. I did a show called Dave, and when I just got back from Laos. That's funny that you were in Southeast Asia as well. I just got back from Laos at the mid-March, and you know, and I was like, what the hell am I coming back to? It was crazy. Yeah. It was like because it was totally normal over there. You know, people were aware of it, and we were wiping everything down and washing our hands and stuff. But still, it wasn't like anyway. The point is that oh no, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying, Jake?
So you just come back from Laos.
Oh, the voiceover. Okay, so I was scheduled to go in and do some ADR for this show, and it was just the simplest little sort of like the camera came back to me, and I have to make a little sound, you know, so that it's a continuous thing, right? And then they were like the day of, they're like, okay, we're canceling it. We're you know, because. And I was like, oh fuck, really? And then they said, hey, do you think you could just do it from home? And I was like, fuck yeah, I can do it from home. And so I sent them like an email with like 3 little sound files that are like a second each of me going, you know, whatever. And that was the job. And it's like, that's my one job during all of this was that. And it's so precious to me, you know. Anyway, I just, I'm just sort of piggybacking off of what you were saying, Jake, is that those little voiceovers that, you know, those auditions that you did, they mean so much more, don't they?
Oh, definitely, 100%. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, I've made some YouTube videos as well in the meantime, so there's always something to keep my mind occupied.
You need that. You need to still be creative, even when you're not
still
doing, out there doing the proper
Your
work.
Australian accent, Jake, is so good.
Oh, thank you so much, Milly. I'm a real
It's a hard one.
I had we had when I was a kid, there was a lot of Australian and New Zealand school teachers, so kind of started there. Also, we have home and away and neighbours over here showing. So
Yeah.
Too right, mate.
All right, so if you would say, I'll be back from the store in a few minutes. Say it as an Australian, and then say it as a New Zealander.
We wouldn't
So-
say store.
All
We'd
right.
say
Milly, you give the sentence.
what was it? I'll be back from the shop in a minute.
Well, something that would have tells, like vowels and whatever that would give you tells if he was doing it wrong.
that one's a good one because it's
Okay.
got an I sound in it.
Okay.
So wait a minute, hang on. Let me just. So I'll be back from the store in a minute, and then Kiwi will be more like, I'll be back from the store in a minute. Like the I sound is different.
Me.
Yeah. So it's minute in Australian minute and New Zealand minute.
That's great.
That's kind of like one easy way to distinguish the two is
just
the I sound. It's I sounds and E sounds.
Uh-huh.
And hang on. So it's like Australian's like 10, and New Zealand will be like 10. Yeah.
Gotcha.
In.
And then what about South Africa?
They've every got. They use the same. It's the same with the I sound. So like. So for instance, bit. New Zealand would be like but, and South African will also be but. So they share that similarity, the I sound.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got a good ear, Jake. That's
Yeah, it really does.
Nice.
Yeah, I was just like 2 days ago watching a YouTube video about a woman named, she's an American, and I think her name is Amy Walker.
Oh, her? Yeah, I know Amy Walker.
And she did like 21 voices, and yeah. So okay, so you're aware of her.
He did an accent video a couple of years before I did mine, and back then on YouTube you could post video responses. So I posted mine as a response to that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys would be peas in a pod. I have a feeling if you met each other.
There was an Australian woman as well who was doing accents. As Little Miss Cupcake, her name was. She had an accent video on YouTube as well. So there were a few people that had these videos. So I thought, okay, well I'll do one as well.
There you go.
And all my friends were asking me to do a video because I did so many different accents. So I thought, yeah, I'll put them all together in one video.
Yeah.
I did. You know, it's funny, Jake. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, who would have thought that David Lynch would find that, and then soon you'd be getting an email saying, "Hey, Jake."
To this day, that still blows my mind.
How did you? I've never heard the story of how you got that job.
Oh,
So well, basically, I've made like 3 accent videos. So the first one I made was actually about almost 10 years ago now. That was the 24 accents, and it was David Lynch's friend Steve sent him a link to that video in 2012. So it was my 2010 video, and in 2012 David's friend sent him that, and David loved it, and so he asked Sabrina to contact me and set up a Skype call, and then he said he wants to cast me in something.
That's so great.
It all started in 2012, and then in 2016 we finally, it was happening, and I went out to do Twin Peaks. That's where I met you. So.
That's right.
It's the way the set of circumstances. Amazing, isn't it?
Well,
By extension, met all of you. So it's just, well, from that one video, so much has happened.
Well, and knowing his process and knowing him, and how he works now that we do, that it wasn't just about how good your accents were, and it wasn't about you.
It was a lot deeper
saw
than that.
you in there doing that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
very
That's
cool.
great. That's great, man.
Honestly, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Okay, what we're going to do now is I'm going to present you with, is that a fact? Brace yourselves. A donkey will sink in quicksand, but a mule won't.
Say it one more time, Frank.
That's all you're going to get for this edition, mate. I only do one per show.
And so are we gonna vote, or how are we gonna do it? If it's true or false?
Oh no, it's well, I actually don't know if it's true or false. It didn't say.
Oh,
It said it was true and weird and random facts, and I just picked that one for this particular show. Yeah, I've got a multitude of them. I can
are
use.
you saying that one of the donkey sinks and the mule
Yeah, and the
doesn't?
mule doesn't. Yeah.
Oh my God. What? How?
I don't think the quicksand's that smart.
I've got a theory.
Mules
I've got a theory.
Is that possible?
I think mules buck a lot more than donkeys do with their back legs, so maybe that propels them out of the quicksand.
Wow.
That's the only thing I could come up with.
Maybe they've got a wider back, because apparently if you're a human in quicksand, if you can get your knees up and lay on your back, you don't sink.
Get your knees up and lie.
Right, it's like floating on water. Or, yeah. That's I don't know. That's a theory I've heard, but I don't know if it's true.
Boy, that would take quite a lot of courage to sort of lean back in quicksand. That would be a lot of courage right there. Like, well, I heard it on a podcast.
Please don't follow me home.
Sure, here we go. All right. It's like, damn you, Frank!
Yeah, that's just like
Never believe everything you hear on the internet.
Oh dear God. Now what we're going to do is, because I want to do a special feature for you all, and you're going to enjoy this. This is amazing. We have the wonderful Milly here, of course, and Milly is one of those creative types that her work, I think, and many people have said this, is friggin' mind-blowing. So, Milly, it's over to you, my love, as you're going to give us a little guided tour or a little display of some of your fantastic dolls and creations.
I had this really big plan that I was going to put Bob on one shoulder and Freddie on the other, and I even made you a little halo. Okay.
Aww.
But I realised where he is. He's still in the UK because of that. I don't know if you can see.
In Canada, you
Oh
mean?
my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, sorry.
You did. Yeah, for a cover magazine.
Says
Yeah.
Freddie.
Wow.
The other day, the male characters, but I do have some here, so hopefully you'll be able to see them.
I think you have to keep talking in order to stay the whatever.
Yeah, you have to keep talking, Milly.
All right.
Yeah.
So do people know who that is?
Never heard of him. Never seen him in my life.
No, you wouldn't know him, mate, would you? No.
All right, so
Amazing.
there's Bob.
What are they made out of, Milly?
This Monster High doll, so I just cut all their hair off and redress them. So this is Laura, if I walk with me, Laura, when she's in her bedroom.
Wow.
You see she's got the I don't want to say panties, I hate that word. Tammy Preston. I'll just go through them really quick because I've got a few here. The giant, that's from episode 8, so he's black and white.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Black Lodge Laura.
Oh my God.
Wow, look at that.
Look at that, man. Yeah.
Lucy.
Those are great.
Lucy, oh, that's a great little thing there. Man.
Do you carve the faces yourself?
Yeah, so they've all got just normal doll faces, and so what I do just to make their face look a little bit different is I build them up with some Sculpey and then I cook them in the oven. So there's Chantel and Hutch.
Wow.
Worse for wear there.
Wow.
Nice.
This is the one you like, Frank. That's old Sarah. Hang on.
Yeah, that's Grace Zabriskie in season 3, the old Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
You really got the cheekbones of
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that. Real high cheekbones that she has, yeah.
Very much like
Maddie.
face.
Eddie Ferguson.
Wow.
Post-death. Oh, well, post-punch in the face. Oh, this is a little bit sad.
Oh,
You see who that is?
that's the giant as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so that's box 1. And I don't know if you can see behind me, but I've got the farmhouse off to the side. So that's to scale for these dolls as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what's the Palmer House made out of?
So it's made out of wood and foam core. So I sort of build the frame in foam core, and then I've cut out all the little wood strips to make the weatherboards or whatever.
Just because I'm like a Zoom neophyte, I clicked on Milly's frame, and one of the options was to pin the picture, and I pinned it, and now she stays up there the whole time, whether we talk or not.
Can you unpin it? I am too. I'm new to this.
Yeah. I will find out if we can unpin it. Let's see.
I think if you
Yeah, you can unpin it. So you click on her frame, put pin, and then she'll stay up there the whole time and not cut in and out when other people talk.
Oh, that's a good deal, John.
Yeah.
That's good.
I just figured it out because I wanted to keep seeing those dolls.
Yeah. So what else have you got there, Milly?
So I don't know who you want to call her, Mrs. Tremont, Mrs. Chalfont, and
I love that dress. Amazing.
the grandson.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
There he is.
Oh, yep. Oh,
Wrapped in plastic.
Yeah.
he's dead.
Mr. Nance.
Fred will
Oh, yeah.
recognise this person. So will you, Jake. Or maybe not how he looks now, but
Yeah.
who's that? James.
Best buddy.
He's always been cool.
He has always been cool.
That's James, yeah.
This is season 1, Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Hey.
season
He's
1.
really got the eyes and he's really got the emotion going on.
How
Wow.
did you do that with her cheekbones and her eyes? That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really spot on. That's one of the most uncanny ones, I think.
Yeah, just with clay. So I have a beautiful,
What's that
in my
one?
lounge room, I have a family portrait, and it's of these two with Laura. So I've got a family portrait.
Well, no, Ray is uncanny as well there. I mean, that's there's something spookily Ray for sure. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Peggy.
Shelley.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, that's nice. Dinah, yeah.
Blackie.
Yeah.
From One Eye Chats. Yeah.
Those are great. Those are really
So
cool.
where'd that hair come from? How do you do that hair?
So in all of these containers, I've got dark hair, light hair, any shade of red hair. So I just find whatever's closest and stick it on. Beulah.
Oh, that's my friend Kate there, Kathleen Deming, yeah.
Yeah,
Beulah.
isn't she lovely?
Yeah.
She was at a convention of some sort, and I had some friends there, and they're like, "Are you sure it's her?" And I said, "Look at her hands; it's definitely her." And she hasn't forgotten it. She always messages me and says, "Oh, you know my hands." It's like, yes, we do. Annie's seen better days.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Blackburn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cooper.
There he is. There's our hero.
Nice Cooper.
And then my favourite, I'll have to get him down. Hang on. He stays with me all the time.
Ah,
Hey.
Jack Nance, wonderful.
Mr. Nance. Yeah.
That's beautiful, that, with the fishing rod and everything. That's really good. That's
That's
cool.
really, yeah.
Yeah. He's
Outstanding.
gone fishing.
Gone fishing.
Jack Nance.
Yeah.
And then I showed you this yesterday, Frank, but I just pulled it out. Oh, I just left it here. So this is a little Palmer house.
Look at
Wow.
that, man.
Look at that. That's really cool.
It's tiny, but the lights go
That's
on.
incredible.
Wow.
That is incredible.
And I don't know, I did...
Cool.
Lamp kind of.
Yeah. Is that the one that lights up, Milly? You've got the lights inside the windows now, or is that
Yeah, you can't really see it, but there's an evolution of the arm just in this window here.
Wait, here it is.
Yeah, there, you can see
the little trees in there?
That make it out, yeah.
Can you see
but
it?
look,
Yeah.
look how little it is. So that's the size of the little tree at the front.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I have a lot
Nice.
of time on my hands.
Have you made one of yourself?
No,
I got
Oh,
a
I
portrait.
had.
Yeah.
I have, but it doesn't look like me. So it's I've also made some marionettes, which I can't show you because no, I think they're a bit stuck. But I've made some actual on-string marionettes of the giant, the waiter. I don't know what you want to call him. Senor Drill Cup. I've made him as well, and the man from another place, and Bob. And I have a child who is terrified of anything that's meant to look like a human but is not a human. So sometimes I test the puppets by walking them into his bedroom. Kind of.
That's years of therapy right there. Years of therapy.
That's a surefire way to have nightmares. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I'll just...
Oh.
You sleep tight after that, love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
So
looks
this
like
is
Frank.
the doll I made for Frank.
Oh,
Um,
I just said
Wow.
looks like Frank.
it's kind of
Oh,
Frank,
that's me.
and
That's me, apparently.
he wanted to be in like a smoking jacket. So you're looking very suave there, Frank.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
From
That's
Laura.
Wow.
Aw.
Nido.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
look, that's really cool. Yeah, Nido.
Boy, I really knew something was different when I walked on the set and she was there. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Nadine.
She had to have that
Like,
makeup on the whole day, like was blind the whole day.
Yeah. When she would go to lunch, right, they would have to like walk next to her.
Yeah.
And,
You couldn't see
Well, she
anything.
had to leave and far out.
yeah, she
Because
had
I
to
think
have
it took
a
like
handler.
2 hours to put it all on.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
morning.
Yeah. So
So
it's,
it had to stay on the whole day. Blind the whole day. In amazing commitment.
So I'll give you a bit of a scene here too. We're nearly done. So there's grieving Sarah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Ah,
You got her
That's
mouth just exactly
great.
right.
That's great.
amazing.
That's so great.
Don't ruin this too.
That's
And
awesome.
not Twin Peaks, but
Wow.
It's the
Oh,
monkey
is
man.
that the
Incredible.
thing on
Jack.
Netflix? That's
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
Jack.
what did Jack do, monkey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Beautiful.
Brilliant.
There you go. That's my show and tell. Thank you very much.
So,
Thank you, Milly.
so what is it that you hate about the sheriff's office?
Me?
I'm teasing you.
I tell you what,
I'm
John,
teasing you.
when I found you on Instagram and you commented, I was like, oh, I really need to make Chad.
Oh,
but-
well, you know, oh, gosh.
I do. And I
You
do,
don't
and I
have to
will.
do it.
And once I do, just get in touch with me and I will send it to you. I need to send Freddie to Jake as well, but yeah, he's in, where is he? Canada.
Canada, yeah, with Blake.
Yeah.
Well, that's incredibly generous of you. Now I feel I'm humbled. So,
Well, David has Gordon.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then maybe, do you ever do shows? Do you ever like bring this stuff out and like in galleries or whatever?
No, I just share it on Instagram and whatnot, and then I do some stop motion with them. So I don't know if you can see behind me, but I've built like a little milk bar. If you follow me on social media, you can see all the detail. I've made like the little lollies and things, candy. And I've made a whole heap of other sets because I'm going to do a stop motion series because I figure, well, I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that could be some sort of an event, right? Like if you had some sort of gallery showing and part of what was going on was that people came from all over with their, you know, Jake came with his and whatever. And that could be part of the show was the sort of gathering of, so the dolls come from all over to be in the same place, you know?
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd love to make, if I had the space and if someone wanted to give me enough money to do it, wink, wink, I'd love to actually, I'd love to actually do the whole town, like make the sheriff station and have Chad out the front stealing the mail and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Can't you-
To Twin Peaks, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Jake, what'd you say?
I said that would be amazing, like a little proper little miniature Twin Peaks. That would
Yeah.
be incredible.
Well, can't you do GoFundMe or something or do some sort of,
Yeah.
you know, like present the idea and get people to, and then, I mean, the Twin Peaks community is a very sort of, I mean, we kind of stick together, you know?
Yeah, and look, I could, but it's not really my intellectual property, so I've had to be,
Yeah, they are quite,
yeah.
can be a bit.
Hence why I thought if I do just an original series, I don't tread on anybody's toes. And, you know, Twin Peaks fans are also really fierce people. So if I were to do a stop motion thing and they didn't agree with what I did, you know, they didn't like that Sarah was in the Black Lodge or whatever, but who wouldn't like that? Yeah, I might get a little bit crucified. So,
well, maybe there's a route, you know, I mean, you have Sabrina's number, right?
yeah, so I met Sabrina. So I'm an original fan. Like I was 12, I think, or 12 or 13 when the show started here. And I've watched it religiously several times a year, if not dozens of times a year since. So it's just on a constant loop for me. Not that I love it any more than anybody else, but it's a very big part of my life. So I'm in country Victoria, Australia. There was not one other Twin Peaks fan here, so I didn't have anybody to talk to. And it wasn't until I got I think it was the gold box set, and in it had maybe some DVD extras, and there was this thing like the Twin Peaks Fest, or I think there was like a little documentary about it. And I was like, other people like Twin Peaks, it's not just me. And then, of course, social media happens and you realise there's quite a large community of people that like Twin Peaks. And they came to Australia. So we had Cheryl Lee, Dana, Michael. Al had a heart attack just after I met him. Not because of me, but that night after the show, yeah, he was unwell. And Sabrina was there as well as Kimmy Robertson. And I had made Sabrina, or the little Jackie doll from the casino, and I took it with me and gave it to her. I cleared it, like I messaged her and said, I'd love to give this to you, because she had found it on social media. So I took it along with me, and Laura Palmer as well gave that to Cheryl Lee. That was a moment. And I took it up to Sabrina and she said, I've shown David and he just can't believe it. You know, I felt like I had a little Jake Wardle moment. That's what I felt like.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I've made David and I'd love to give it to him. And she was like, message me. So I messaged her. I waited for the tour to be over and she was back in the States, and I messaged her, and at the Festival of Disruption she gave Michael Horse, Hawk, Eamon she gave Richard, and David Lynch got Gordon Cole. So that's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I can't, obviously I don't have any lawyers and I don't know their lawyers, but it seems like there could be a pathway there, in that you're not making things to sell. So you're not, you know what I mean? You're not looking to capitalize on financially on the show. And I know that, like, since I bet there's a pathway. If you went through Sabrina, there's a pathway to CBS, who is now, I think, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that knows better, but I think CBS has kind of circled the wagons, and they're dealing with all of that themselves, is what it seems like.
Yeah.
So I would say reach out to Sabrina, and just, it's because I don't know why they would turn down some sort of community effort, to bring us together and bring attention to this great show and stuff. I mean, why?
Yeah.
Well, there was fan-based people that were doing, fan-based versions of Star Wars, and you can find those on YouTube. And to your point, John, they weren't making money off of it. It was just out of the love of it and the community. And some people loved it, some people didn't, but it was just trying to put that out there. That was before, of course, Disney acquired it from Lucasfilms and all that stuff. But so there is, if you're not making money off of it, if it's just out of the love of it, the worst you're probably going to get is a cease and desist. But again, I'm not a lawyer, so full disclosure. I'm kind of talking out of my butt, but I just know from being a Star Wars fan that was the case back then. The worst they got was
raised a lot of money for that Star Wars fan film, or?
Well, they used that fan base to kind of like how Twin Peaks did, to bring back the love of it. And then, of course, there was new generations of kids those, like me, I grew up in the 70s and I watched Star Wars, and now my kid, 14-year-old kid, was indoctrinated very early on, and it's the same thing with Twin Peaks, there's just generations.
Yeah.
But that would be cool if you did something like that, like a Team America version of Twin Peaks, obviously a different genre, but that would be cool with the marionettes or stop motion,
I just love the aspect that I love about it the most is nothing is impossible, because I can make, within reason, any character and make them look roughly similar, like who it is.
Mm-hmm.
You can make the buildings. Jake can do voices,
Yeah, it seems like it would be a worthwhile to at least contact Sabrina. I mean, I'm sure you probably have her phone number and email and stuff, but
I don't. I think I've just messaged her on Facebook, but I'm a little bit of a not a celebrity phobe, but I'm very mindful, like when we were in Melbourne and we were meeting everybody, I'm just very mindful that you guys have to deal with fans all the time.
Mm.
But this is not like, this doesn't have anything to do with that. This is like you're an artist, and
Mm-hmm.
a very obviously very accomplished one. You're a part of the deal. As far as I would be surprised if any of us disagreed with that. So it's really not. It's not like you're some pie-eyed nut, waiting outside the theater to get a picture. I mean, it's,
Little do we know.
Well, by the way, so am I. When my first day on set, Kyle was there, and I was a fucking pie. So I am too. Me too.
Yeah, I did that too. Yeah.
Right. But it's like I think anybody would appreciate that. But this is you're not coming and asking for something. You're offering something.
Mm-hmm.
You're showing up with something incredibly valuable to
Yeah.
offer our community. That's your community, our community. And I don't know. I would just and Sabrina's extremely down to earth. I'm sure, as you know.
Yes, I felt like I'd known her for a while. So Cheryl Lee was overwhelming. Dana was just bouncing around like a puppy on steroids. He's got so much energy. I felt really awkward around Kimmy, and I don't know if it's because she's that iconic voice and but I tell you what, for her age, she's got amazing legs. But with Sabrina, I felt like I had known her for a really long time. It was just a really normal, no pretension kind of conversation. It was beautiful.
That's how she is. She's like that.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, it's Dana's birthday tomorrow, FYI.
Oh, is it?
No.
I tell you what, I got a photo of me and in between Cheryl Lee and Dana. I look like I could be, if Laura Palmer got pregnant very, very young, I look like I could be their child. I've got Dana's chin and then sort of Laura's. It's bizarre.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
I'm seeing that in your eyes. I'm actually seeing that now that I'm
I
very
can see a touch of Cheryl Lee in there. I really can, in the eyes, yeah.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
think
well, it's time now for
I
5
think
random questions for one of our guests. So stand by. Who's it going to be?
Uh-oh.
you have a randomizer? Push the randomizer.
Yeah, I'll have to add a sound effect afterwards, like a drum roll or something. Yeah, I'm just going to land on someone, and it's coming now, and it's Brett.
Oh, wow.
Good luck, Brett.
Thanks.
We're with you, buddy. Good luck.
Your 5 random questions start now. Helicopter or hot air balloon?
Ooh, hot air balloon. Hot air balloon.
Taco or burrito?
I prefer the taco. Yeah.
Where do flies go in winter?
Where do flies go in winter?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they hibernate, but the flies don't live that long. They're, we talk about Darwinism. Their food for, well, first of all, where they're born is disgusting. And I grew up on a farm, so flies typically are born out of horse shit and any kind of feces. It's really, I know this is getting really odd and strange, but they don't live that long, and they're good for spiders. So I don't think they go anywhere for winter.
So where do they go for winter? Not far.
Not far. You digest it into some other animal.
Yeah. Who was your first crush?
Oh boy, my first crush was in 3rd grade. I remember in class, just amazing rush of love for my teacher, and I remember starting to cry because I was conflicted because I thought that I loved my mother more.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my, this is going to get really, maybe I should go see a therapist about this.
Field day with this.
Yeah, exactly. But I was conflicted because I would love my mom so much, but then I loved her for a different reason. I didn't understand the feelings. And it was just so conflicting. And she was like, are you okay? No, I need to go to the doctor's office. And And I told my mom about it, and she was like, "Oh, that's a different type of love." And
You want to see your teacher in a bathing suit.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Eating in an apron.
Right. Feeding me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your final question, Brett. Your final
Okay, good.
question. Right. What happened last Thursday?
What happened last Thursday?
Yeah.
Ooh, during this time, pretty much the same thing. You know, pretty much wake up, take a shower, maybe go for a walk with the mask on, and grab my mail and you know, wipe it down from COVID. Maybe go to the grocery store. That's the big thing to do. It's like, wow, I get to stand in line for 20 minutes to get in the grocery store.
Oh, I hate that.
Then I have to, you know, stand in line 6 feet apart from each other in timing, and then I get to take it home, and I get to wipe it all down with wipes before I store it. And yeah, then I watch a lot of Netflix, and yeah, maybe go for a walk again to get some fresh air and see other people in masks, and then you know, yeah, it's pretty boring. So sorry.
Compare masks and say, God, that's a great design you got on that one, man.
COVID is a great equalizer because we all have that same boring day.
Yeah, exactly. I even forget what day it is. I mean, it's bizarre.
Milly, maybe you should make little mini masks for all the Twin Peaks dolls.
There you go. There you
That's a
go.
really good idea.
That's a great idea. That's a great
That
idea.
is. That's a good idea.
I think she's writing it down, Jake.
Yeah. That's on the list.
Okay.
I'll make one while you guys are here. Hang on.
She's gonna whip one out. Look at that.
There you go.
Closed.
Well, she's not
So
joking.
congratulations, Brett. You have completed your 5 random questions. Well done,
Okay.
Brett.
Thanks. I hope I didn't creep out too many people.
I think you've got most of them right. It seems like.
And the final topic for all of you guys is, let's ask you all this. What is the earliest memory in your life that you can recall vividly?
Ooh.
So as far back as your mind can remember. As a child.
Funny, like, isn't it funny how when you're trying to think of something, where are you looking when you like look up? What, like, why is it going to be there? Why?
It's very true. Yeah.
Why is my memory going to be up here somewhere?
I think to take your eyes away off what's in front of you, so it's easier to look.
That's it, Jake.
You're letting all the things come in from the screen.
Yeah, you're looking inside your brain trying to find it exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody else go first on that one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think I might have been the tail end of 3 years old, possibly 4. But I don't know, maybe the tail end of 3, and sitting in the living room with Lego and making houses. But obviously back then I didn't, because I was so young, I was just a toddler. I hadn't made them 3D, so I just used to make the house, the triangle house shape, out of Lego bricks. And I remember on the TV was Coronation Street. In the US, you've obviously never heard of that, but it's a British TV soap opera that's been running since the 1960s. It's set in Manchester and Northern England. And in the opening of Coronation Street, it's got the houses. So I was basically trying to build what I was seeing on TV. Actually, if I get the Coronation Street intro up on YouTube, you might know what I'm talking about. Hang on.
I certainly know it anyway.
Yeah, of course. If you're in the UK, you'll know it.
It's a very popular soap opera here. Yeah.
Intro.
Yeah, they're like Northern Town, you know, in Manchester.
Here we go. Here's and get to see the houses, the triangle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically it just shows the street. And
The old northern
That's
streets.
great. That's great, Jake.
That's cool.
Coronation Street. So I remember, little 3-year-old or 4-year-old me seeing those houses and just having Lego in front of me and trying to build the triangle shapes that I saw. So that's my earliest memory.
All right. Okay. That's cool. How about you, Brett? I think. Or John? Is it John?
John, go for it, John.
It's funny. I have one memory that I can't be sure really is a memory. Do you ever have that where it's like you sort of, something's been suggested to you,
Yeah.
and you kind of created a memory, right? And now it's been so long, but I do. It feels like a memory of me sitting out in front of our house, and it's hot out, and there's a little bit of a slope to the yard, and my father is washing the car. And I'm just like asking him questions, and he continues to wash and just says, like on Thursdays or whatever, once a year or, 10 or whatever. He's just answering all of my dumb questions. And I told my mom this, because my dad died when I was really young and I have no memories of him really, but I explained to her what the car looked like and what the yard looked like. And she goes, oh yeah, that was probably Wichita. Yeah, that was the Valiant or whatever it was to the car. Yeah, and it was white. We did have a white one of those. And so that might be it. That might be my earliest memory. If it really is, but I don't think I'm facing any legal action if I'm wrong, because even I can't prove whether it's real or not.
How about you, Brett?
Earliest memory I have was when I was young in Lake Oswego, Oregon. Was a little farm. And I remember my mom incentivizing me to pee in the toilet by using M&Ms. And
Great.
and so I didn't want to eat them all at once, so I would hoard them and I put them underneath in the back of the couch. I remember coming. Yeah, exactly. And I remember coming back at one point, and the sun had hit it on somehow it warmed it up, and it just melted on the carpet, and I was just like devastated. I was like, because I'd worked so hard to make sure that I peed right in the toilet.
Okay, there's so much about this story that's fucking long to me. Like, first of all,
I'm a therapist's dream.
The idea, the sophistication of delaying gratification at that age is insane to me. I don't know how that's even possible that you came up. I think that is a deep, deep insight into your psyche. It must be. Someone who knows you better would be able to tell. That you were delaying gratification with candy. That I can't do that now.
I know. I can't do it either now. I mean, I don't. If I have any chocolate in the house, it's gone. It's gone.
The second thing about that is the idea that you would have, the lesson that you would have learned there is don't save up.
Don't hoard. Right.
Don't save anything. Eat it now. There's no reason to put things away for a rainy day.
That's right. Exactly. Well, I've learned a lot about myself revealing these stories.
Oh, and the third thing is the idea that Lake Oswego was farmland once is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
The wealthiest part of Portland now, probably, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, my family lives up in Washington. So.
What a great story, Brett. On so many levels. That's lovely.
And how about you, Milly?
Probably being about 3 and sitting on an orange, like little chair made out of wool. It was very itchy, but I probably loved it at the time. And watching Rocky Horror Picture Show with a bowl of cabbage with tomato sauce on it, or ketchup, whatever you want to call it. I used to eat just cabbage and sauce. I'm like Charlie Bucket. Anyway, over James.
Oh, that was
nice. Wow, that was quick.
Wait. Put him up again, Millie. Put him up again. I'm sorry.
COVID James.
Over
There he
James.
is.
He's always been cool and cautious.
He's
Yeah.
always cautious. That's right.
He's always been cool.
He's always wore a mask.
Well, so at an early age, your memory is tactile. I think that's interesting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
considering where you've gone with
Yeah.
your art.
And I can't believe my parents let me watch that, because that was another thing that I watched like hundreds and hundreds of times a year. And I don't remember when it sort of struck me that it was quite provocative.
Yeah. Do you have in
You
your
could say
town?
that.
Oh, most towns, we've got it in Santa Monica, right? We've got Rocky Horror plays at the
Yep.
what do you call it? The up by the 405. What's that called?
Yeah, the new art. The new art.
Yeah, exactly. It plays up at the New Art. So what do you have, Millie? Do you have it? Like when's the first time you went and saw it in a theater and saw the whole, people squirt gunning and throwing toast and stuff? When was it?
Probably only about 5 years ago, because I refused. Like, I've been invited a few times earlier on, and I was like, if it's not Tim Curry, I'm just not interested. Like, there's only one Frankenfurter. But I did go and see it in Melbourne a little while ago, and Kyle MacLachlan was playing Frankenfurter then. I don't know if you know Kyle MacLachlan. Jake, you might, being a Neighbours fan and all.
Wow.
He played Kylie Minogue's brother in Neighbours, and he was pretty good.
Well, but I mean, they have like here, movie theaters will play the movie, and people come to the movie.
Oh,
and they
sorry, I thought you meant like
And
a...
they reenact it. And
They reenact. They come dressed as characters, and they play them at midnight usually.
Yeah.
And right, and you show up at midnight, because I know my kid when they were in elementary school, somehow crazily, or maybe it was junior high, they took a trip. They took the whole class to see Rocky Horror.
Oh, God.
Nuts to me. 30
Wow.
kids,
Wow.
But were you not aware of that, Millie?
No, I don't think they... well,
That's
if they have done it here, I wasn't aware. I've
It's
never
a
seen
phenomenon.
it.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that it's going on somewhere if you looked into it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Probably in the city. I don't live in a city. I live in a smaller town. Yeah.
I don't know. It's cool to do it once. Anyone else ever done that? Gone to the
Oh, yeah.
horror thing? Yeah.
I did it in Seattle when I was a kid, when I was in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, in high school, yeah.
What about you, Frank? What's yours?
Yeah.
Mine was being hit over the head by a rattle from my sister.
The
Oh,
sibling.
yeah.
The sibling story.
So I was in what we call a pram over here when we were young, but you call it a stroller or a buggy or whatever. So I was maybe 2, or 1.5, 2, I can't remember exactly. And somehow that's the only memory I have that far back, was I was rattling this toy that had like a rattle sound in it, a baby toy, shaped like a bunny, made this like rattling sound in it. I think it may have had sand in it or something. I'm not sure what the hell it was anyway. And my sister got fed up with the noise I was making, grabbed it out of my hand and hit me over the head with it. And that's my earliest memory, yeah.
Was it about the bunny, Frank?
Yeah, from a very young age, yeah.
How is your sister?
She's all right, but I didn't fare very well after the hit on the head. I think that's affected me for most of my life, really, but yeah.
So have you guys kind of worked it out?
I wouldn't go that far, John. No.
And they haven't spoken since.
It's the rattle incident.
Yeah. But actually, believe it or not, we are at the end of the show, and I can't believe how much we've got through,
Wow.
and how well this has actually gone, because you don't know with these things how it's going to pan out with your first attempt. But I think it went well. I hope you all enjoyed it, guys.
That's great.
It's been good fun.
Is there a? I mean, I know I follow you, Millie, on Insta, right? But is there a place people can go see your stuff? Is that the way to do it? Just to follow you on Instagram, Milly Moo?
Well, I did a website very amateurly. It's called Trapped in Plastic. So like wrapped in plastic, but trapped. Because I thought that was appropriate. Dolls being made out of plastic and the characters being trapped in there. I don't know. I have moments. But if you go there, it sort of links you through to Etsy and Instagram, but also YouTube. So There's some stop motion stuff on there. And I've just done a film clip for, Frank knows about this, the Windom Earles, which is a UK band that they're pretty cool. They're kind of like old school B-52s, that really heavy, punky, sludgy kind of music. They're great. So I just did a film clip for them in stop motion. And I think I've just put a tutorial up on YouTube as well when I was making some of the little shop.
So trappedinplastic.com?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Cool.
Nice. Trapped in plastic.
Trapped in plastic.
I need you, Jake. I need you.
We all need Jake. The world needs more Jake.
Yeah. It's so true. I'm surprised that a lot of people really don't like you, Jake, because I see a lot of people going to these fests and doing the outpouring of love for Twin Peaks, and it feels like there's this little underlying thing of we all want a piece of David Lynch, and we know David Lynch is a very, he's a bit of a, not a recluse, but he's very, doesn't go out and socialise and have heaps of people around him all the time. And you, my friend, are living the dream, because I think everybody has that moment of, I want to open up my email and see an email from Sabrina saying David would like to speak to you. Yeah, so I'm surprised, but because you are such a nice guy, I think people still love you, maybe with a little bit of envy peppered in there.
Well, I've had nothing but love and support from the fans, vocally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, there are people that don't like Freddie's character, and that's fine, It's
I love him.
Yeah, so I just focus on the positives. So I have more than enough fans. I'm really happy, with all the love and the support and the fan art. I mean, like what you've made and the others have made. It's just incredible. It really is. I mean, look, what Christian Hartleban made.
Oh wow!
One for Freddie, one for me, one for Freddie, and one for his glove.
Yeah.
Great.
One.
That's cool.
And little crochet Freddie as well.
Oh wow!
So when I receive your one, Millie, that means he's going to have a friend. So it's
good.
So they're going to be like twin
Let me see his hand. There's his
Freddie dolls.
Nice.
And I got these badges from the US Fest from the gift shop in the Salish Lodge. So I thought I'd put them on.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, it's honestly the Twin Peaks fan community is like no other.
Yeah. And season 3 was really like no other. The fact that everybody still talks about it like it was yesterday, we're still trying to pick it apart. The fact that it's, what is it now, 3 years on? Is it 3 years on, Frank?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Yeah.
3 years, yeah.
Actually, just about exactly. Didn't it come out in May?
Yeah, May 21st. Or?
September, wasn't it?
May 21st, 2017.
Yeah. How about that?
Wow.
So I took the day off work that day, and you have to put like a reason for your day off work on your leave form, and I wrote Twin Peaks returns.
That's awesome.
And HR would have got that and gone, okay.
Nice answer.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I just remember sitting there and, for the whole 57 minutes or 54 minutes sort of mouth open, particularly episode 8, and then kind of getting up afterwards and realising I actually hadn't moved a muscle for that whole almost hour. Like my back was really stiff because I was just upright, leaning forward, watching it all unfold. It was just incredible.
Yeah.
Changed everything.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first one changed everything, and then the return changed it again.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Did it all over again. In a different way, but it did it all over again.
Yeah.
It answered old questions and created new ones.
Yeah.
The mystery's always alive.
But I mean, it just even I think even just in its creation, just the idea that it was the way that we made it. I mean, look at you, they had to create a contract for us. There wasn't even a contract.
It was completely unconventional.
They had to make up the contract because there was no way to pay us the way he was doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was like just the idea that he made an 18-hour movie.
Basically.
Shot it like a movie. I mean, unprecedented. change the needle again. That's why that's what I'm saying. He changed it again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, you probably want to get going, Frank.
Extraordinary, man.
Come to the end.
We have come to the end, my friends. Yes, thank you, John, for segueing me there. And thank you guys very much for joining me. I do hope you enjoyed doing this.
Oh, thanks, Frank.
Yeah, thanks for putting this together, Frank.
Really, really had a great time, Frank. Thank you so much for keeping in touch and doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Brett and Milly, for helping me out here with recording duties. So I wanted to get this as good as possible because I don't trust my own tech too much. So they've been really helpful with doing some tests before we did the recording. All hours I've been up trying to get this ready. So I hope it pays off, and I hope the quality is as good as we can get it for this. So I wanted it to be as good as possible. So thank you, Brett, and thank you, Milly, for helping me with that.
My pleasure.
Oh, most welcome. It's been really lovely spending my morning with you guys. It's now 6:20.
Yeah, it's fun. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, well, Milly's got the short end of the straw there. It's after 6 a.m. there.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Australia. So,
You have
yeah.
to
Up at
turn
4
the thing upside down.
Yeah. And we'll keep in touch because I do want to give you guys your dolls, obviously, and I probably should make Joey as well. So
That'd be great. I'd love to.
I've been excited. It's the moment I saw on Instagram when you made it. I was excited. I was like, oh, I can't wait. So it's going to be worth the wait, definitely.
Pride of place. Yeah.
yeah, I need to make Chad. I might make Chad with the male being a shady character. That
Oh, that's great. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Well,
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, his eating gets all his eating in the conference room is what people pay attention to. Yeah, that male scene, I think, might have been, if it wasn't the first day, it was the second day. It was one of the very first things that I shot, and that is a very meaningful scene to me. I was sort of doing it all wrong. You know, he was yelling at me. He's like, no, David was. Right? And, he said, he goes, because I was being sort of very buoyant or whatever, and kind of like a smart ass. And he's like, you're committing a federal offense. Take it seriously.
Wow.
So that scene is, that's a very meaningful for me anyway. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Frank, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Frank.
Yeah, thanks, Frank.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you so much for joining me. We will be back again. I'm pretty confident that we'll be back again for this. I hope people will like this first episode. But it's all gauged on that, really, isn't it? But I've got ideas for this format of the show, and I'd like to do more if...
yeah, who cares if people like it, Frank? Just keep doing it.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, just keep doing it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've had so much fun doing this, so I don't really want to let it go. It's
Yeah, that's all that matters. Just follow that. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, the guys watching, the two of you, I'm very grateful to you, obviously, and we will be back very soon. I hope during this lockdown to try and divert you from the outside world for an hour or so, and hopefully give you some nice and thrilling entertainment. So guys, thank you so much, and we will see you very soon. So take care and goodbye.
Take care.
Bye.